Both about the same, huh?
I
Oh
I
my
don't
god.
think either of us are, honestly. Um, I guess I can only speak as to like the black community because I don't know what goes on too much in other people's
Got it.
community. Is that okay?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. But I feel like in the black community, we're not taught to be wives or husbands, because we're just taught to survive. Um, yeah.
You. What do you mean being taught to be a wife? How are you taught to be a wife or a husband? What are the specific qualifications that you feel like you need to meet to be a wife or a husband?
Um, I feel like the way we communicate with each other, the way women communicate with men, the way men communicate with women, but a lot of us weren't taught to communicate with each other, which I feel like which is why we're having such like a communication barrier now,
You
especially in the black community. So,
you think black women don't know how to communicate with black men?
well, I don't think we're taught to. At least in my single parent household, I was raised by my mom. My mom was the man and woman of the household. So she didn't really have to take a lot of crap from men. She didn't. And, she didn't really teach me how to communicate with men. I only watched my mother running a household. I didn't really watch her, I guess, communicate with other men. So I didn't really know how to when I grew up. That's something I had to navigate for myself.
This is interesting. So how do okay? So
Do you think it's fair to say that like men and women communicate differently? Like I think men love through respect and women love through um I'm trying to like I'm trying to word it better if that makes sense.
yeah, nah, I don't think men and women love differently. I
Um
think I think
I
that I think that I think that you can't have love devoid of respect. So both parties want respect. Women want respect and men want respect. Men say that they would take respect over love. But what they mean when they say that is they want you to never question them, right? They don't
wait,
mean
say
they
that one more time.
say what
I said say that again.
they want. So most men when they say, pretty much every man that I've ever heard, like anytime, because it doesn't make sense like logically, because you can't have love without respect. So when men say that they would take respect outside of love,
Mhm.
what they mean is, or in, not outside of love, but when they say like I'll take the respect over the love, what they mean is they just want a woman who is going to never challenge them, because that's how they
I
view.
don't
That's how
I
most
don't think
men
that's
view respect.
necessarily true.
That's not true.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, when I
What?
first got with my husband, I'd say in our earlier years, because we met when we were in college, and I guess back then I was operating in a lot of trauma. I can only speak for myself personally, but
Yeah.
when we get into disagreement, arguments, I my thing was I felt like it was hard for me to be heard, especially in the household that I grew up with. So when I used
Mhm.
to argue, I used to raise my voice, and I didn't realize until I got with my husband that you don't always have to raise your voice to be heard. And I think that was the thing for respect for him. When we would argue, he wouldn't feel respected because he felt like I would either try to bull guard him or raise my voice over him, stuff like that. And so I
Mhm.
feel like when he told me, I need you to respect me first before you love me, that was the part that he was talking about. When you talk to me, I need you to
Mhm.
lower your voice. I need you to watch your mouth, and how you say certain things. Because when I say my mouth was lethal. But it was because I never was taught I needed to respect a man. And in my household, I didn't see my mother respect, I guess, a husband or, certain things, or I didn't see a healthy dynamic. So I didn't know a healthy dynamic. And I think,
The thing that I find odd about this, though,
hmm
is so these same men were raised by black women,
yeah.
and apparently black women have a tongue on them or whatever you're saying. So shouldn't they be used to that behavior?
Just because you're used to something that doesn't, I don't think that means that it's effective or that it's okay.
No, but listen to what I'm saying though. So if you grew up with I grew up with the black mama, right?
hmm
And you're making, I mean, I'm just using your logic. And
Yeah.
most black women speak a certain way, and their tongue is quote unquote, like you said, lethal and all of that stuff.
No, I
And
said my tongue was lethal. I
I
never
know, I
said
know. I'm
you.
saying, but you're using you as an example to represent black women, because that's what you're talking about right now,
I mean,
right?
I can only go based off my experience, but I guess so. at least for me and my circle, we've all had the same. Me and my circle of, I guess, family members or whatever, because I came from a lot of broken households or a generation of broken households. So I can only speak for me and my family and stuff like that. So
Okay, I'll put a pin in that. But let me get back to the question. So the thing that I find odd about this though is
mhm.
because, like I said, black men grew up in the same households with you as my sister,
Okay,
as my cousin, as my
okay.
auntie, as my mama. But for some reason, when we get in a relationship, all of a sudden we can't deal with how black women talk to us. Does that make any sense to you logically?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying is we operate in a place of trauma. When you operate in a place of trauma, you're not going to get, I guess, healthy outcomes.
I hear that, but I know I understand that, but do you not understand what I'm asking you? Like, because I'm saying that if okay, let me take it back, and this is why you shouldn't do this then, because if you're personalizing it, which you're not, you're actually saying it's not just you, it's even all the girls you know in your circle, so it's not even personal to you, right? But
Mhm.
so we're talking about you. I was talking about men and women in general. You said black men and black women. That's fine. So we're talking about black men and black women in general, right? Do you think that black women, because I asked you, I said, do you think that black women have a difficult time communicating with black men? Do you think black women struggle with communicating with black men? That's what I'm asking you. And then you
Yeah,
gave
I
your,
don't necessarily think we understand each other either.
well, not that though, but you used yourself as an example, and you said
Yeah.
that you yell and da 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 da. So to me, I took that as this is what's common amongst black women. Was that safe to assume from my perspective?
I guess to some extent, yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm asking is, once again, if you are average, right, in that regard, it's common, right, because that's how most black women talk, or a lot, even a lot, whatever. But that's to say because we're speaking in general, so most. Let's say that's how most black women communicate.
Bylines quite
Black men grew up in the same homes with you.
specific grandparents,
How aren't
certain
black men
Western
used to
tones,
that?
South tones. So basically,
Wait,
with me
wait,
doing research,
wait,
huh? What was
wait,
that?
wait till I'm. Wait, give me a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. That was her husband talking. It's very interesting. That was crazy. It's unacceptable. Of
Get
course it
our
is.
roof fixed right now, and he's on
Okay.
the phone with some people, so I don't want to be not a
No,
part of this conversation.
you're good.
Okay.
All right.